The title for this video today is It's Okay to Be Different. What I mean by this is that you don't have to be liked by everyone. You don't have to be everyone's favorite. You don't have to be something that everyone else is. You know, it's okay to have different tastes. It's okay to have different likes. It's okay to have different feelings towards things. You have to have some form of variation to you. That's what makes you different from others. Right now everybody's trying to be like the same thing. Everybody's trying to be this person, that person, and not being themselves who they are. And it's just it doesn't make sense, because why would you try to be someone who is not you? You know in yourself that who you are trying to be like, they're not you. That person that you're trying to be is not who you genuinely want to be, but it's just because of, afraid of judgment, or you don't want to be seen as the true person that you are. You don't want others to see that that's who you are. And I'm not going to be a liar and say that, oh, I haven't been like that, or I've never experienced that, or I've never done anything like that. But it reaches to a point where you have to realize that trying to be someone else, it's not going to work for you. As you go further and further into it, it just becomes so hard for you. You have to pretend so much. Majority of your conversations, the way you act and the things you do are not you genuinely. They're someone else's traits and how they behave. That's what you are just copying. You're not being your true self. And for me, I have went through a fair share of criticism in things that I do when I'm trying to be myself. The way how I express myself, the things that I do, it's because I remember when I started posting on TikTok, and I do ASMR also. I do ASMR, and I remember I posted my first video on TikTok. I was already posting on YouTube, but I decided to post on TikTok as well, because TikTok, it's full of a lot of people. Like, people are scrolling every single minute of the day. So TikTok has a lot, and I thought that, you know what, it would be good if I could go on there and could get like a little fan base or something like that, just to grow my ASMR channel. And when I went on there, the first video that I posted, I saw some comments that were just discouraging, and just, it really made me think twice about what I'm doing. It really made me think that, oh, probably this is, I was saying that the comments that I received, like, on that video that I posted, were so discouraging. Like, I just sat for like a couple of minutes and just looked over the comments, every single one, and just looked at it and I just wondered, like, because some people aren't really used to it. And I can understand, because when I first got into it, it was kind of weird to me. But now that I kind of understand it, and I know I've grown to love it. So I just decided that that's what I want to do on YouTube, and extend it on TikTok. But when I saw those comments, I was so discouraged, and I spoke to a lot of friends about it, and every one of them, they told me that you are being who you are. Don't be afraid to be who you are. If you love to do ASMR, do it regardless of what people may think, regardless of what people may say about it. It's what you want to do, you know? It's what you, who you are, what you enjoy doing. So you can't let people, you know, just judge you, and then you feel that judgment now, and you want to let use whatever you have to please them. I just think that, you know, personally, it's hard to receive judgment, you know, or just being criticized. But I think that when you try to be someone else or to please others, it just it just suppresses your inner self, like who you are and who you truly, you know, your personality and all of that, you know. So that's what I learned kind of from that situation. But time and time again, I am still kind of being reminded of it, because, you know, when you go out in life and people, you know, people see how you may react to certain things a bit different. You may say things a bit different, or view things a bit different, you know. They may tend to look at you as if you are lesser, or you're not, you know, you're not anybody to be considered, you know. So, you know, you just have to be yourself, and I think that's where you truly that is where you truly become firm in yourself, and that's where you truly, you know who you are as you go along. Because once you stop allowing what people say to affect you and what they think to affect you, you start to grow in your own type of thing. Like, you grow in your personality, you grow in the things that you love, and you find it more enjoyable than what others may think or say you should do, you know. Because everybody has, you know, their preferences and whatever, but there's always going to be something that someone says about you, because there are a billion people in the world, and they all have different views, they all have different personalities, they all have different, you know, everything. But the thing is, some of them, they hide their true self, and that's how, you know, they try, that's how they try not to become criticized. They hide themselves, and they try to tuck themselves away in the accept things that people accept, you know. That's what they do. So on your end, you might think that, oh, look, these persons are not criticizing these other persons, and this person is not criticizing that other person. But what you don't realize is that the way they are avoiding the criticism is by just hiding themselves, them true selves, and just being what the other person wants them to be. That's how they avoid it. That's how they escape it, in a sense. So, you know, for me, I'm not going to say it's easy to do, but it's something you definitely have to start doing. Because once you try to, you know, be what they want you to be, you start to just hate yourself. My encouragement to you is just to be yourself, and it's okay being different. If someone says that, oh, you're weird for thinking that, you're weird for thinking this, you're weird for doing this or that, you know, that's okay, because it's not you alone who does it. There's other people out there that do it. And I'm not saying, you know, it should be anything bad or anything like that, no. But it's in ways like you just have different views on certain things, or you just do something that the normal people, like average people, don't do. I just want to close out this video by saying that it's okay to be different. It's okay to think and do things a bit different from how normal people or regular people would do. You know, there's no shame in being yourself. There's no shame in doing the things you love to do. You know, there's nothing wrong with that, because being a people pleaser and being being what people want you to be isn't fun. You know, so stick to you, stick to what you love, stick to, you know, whatever you like. You know, it doesn't have to be something that I like, but if it's something that you like, stick to it, regardless of what others might say, regardless of what they may think. Do you and be you. Bye.